rain came first, cold, slashing sheets that turned the forest road into black sludge. The van's headlights sliced through the darkness, reflecting off rusted signboards that hadn't been touched in decades. "We shouldn't be here," murmured Anaya, hugging her jacket tighter. The van's engine groaned as it climbed the last hill. "Relax," Raghav said from the driver's seat, forcing a grin. "We came for this, didn't we?" One night inside St. Mercy Hospital, the most haunted place in Himachal. That's our video title behind him. Kabir adjusted his camera lens, the little red record light glowing faintly. Ria leaned against the window, watching as fog thickened around the trees. They were a small YouTube team of urban explorers, known for filming abandoned places. But this was different. Locals had begged them not to go near St. Mercy. It had been shut down since 1987 after a fire killed patients in the psychiatric ward. Rumors said some patients never left, and tonight the four had come to prove those rumors wrong. The gate. When the van stopped, silence swallowed them. No crickets, no wind, just the soft hiss of rain. The hospital loomed ahead, its skeletal frame wrapped in vines and rust. Broken windows stared like hollow eyes. "Looks friendly," Kabir joked, though his voice cracked slightly. Raghav forced a laugh. "Let's get the intro shot." They stepped into the mud, flashlights cutting arcs through the darkness. The wrought iron gate creaked open with a moan that echoed across the courtyard. Inside, the air was damp and heavy, smelling of mold and burnt plastic. The faded hospital sign still read, St. Mercy Mental Rehabilitation Center. Ria whispered, "They said this place caught fire in the middle of the night. No alarms, no survivors." Anaya shivered. "Then who locked the doors from inside?" The group exchanged uneasy looks. Kabir raised the camera. "Rolling, and we're entering St. Mercy." The halls of Mercy. The main corridor stretched into darkness. Paint peeled off the walls in long, curling strips. Wheelchairs lay overturned, their wheels rusted in place. An IV stand leaned against the wall like a forgotten skeleton. Their flashlight beams danced nervously over signs. Ward A, Psychiatric, Ward B, Isolation, Morgue. "Let's start with the patient wards," Raghav said. "We'll save the morgue for last." Anaya muttered, "Of course you will." The floor groaned beneath them as they entered Ward A. Beds were lined up neatly as if waiting. Shadows clung to the corners. Kabir filmed everything, the graffiti, the blood-colored stains, the strange symbols carved into walls. "Guys," Ria whispered, pointing. On the far wall, written in what looked like ash, were the words, "Still waiting for the doctor." A draft swept through the corridor, whispering like breath. Raghav turned. Who left the back door open? No one had. The children's wing. They reached the pediatric ward, a smaller, darker hall filled with broken toys and tiny, rusted beds. The child's wheelchair sat in the center of the room, facing the wall. Kabir panned his camera slowly toward it. Suddenly, the wheel creaked. Click, click, click. The chair began to move backward, inch by inch, without anyone touching it. Anaya gasped. "Kabir, tell me you're doing that." Kabir stepped back, shaking his head. "I swear I'm not." The chair stopped, then turned. For a heartbeat, no one moved. Then a faint giggle echoed down the hall. A child's voice, soft, happy, and completely out of place. Ria's flashlight trembled. "We're not alone." The giggle grew louder, then distorted into a high-pitched wail that tore through the corridor. The lights flickered. Raghav yelled, "Back to the main hall!" Now. They ran, their footsteps projector followed, closer, sharper, until it suddenly stopped. At the hall's end, a door swung open on its own. Inside, a metal sign hung crookedly. Ward C, long-term patients. The record room? Inside Ward C, the smell of smoke was stronger. Piles of medical files lay scattered, half-burnt and water-stained. Kabir picked up a file marked Patient 42, Dr. R. Mehra, transferred from staff. "Wait, doctor?" Ria said. "Why would a doctor be listed as a patient?" Raghav scanned the paper. The notes were scribbled. Panicked. Greater than he hears them. Says they call his name through the speakers. Keeps drawing circles. Claims he can cure death. Anaya frowned. Cure death? Before anyone could reply, the PA speaker on the ceiling crackled. Dr. Mehra to operating room 3. They froze. The voice was faint, distorted but unmistakably real. "There's no power here," Kabir whispered. The speaker hissed again, louder. "Dr. Mehra to operating room 3. Raghav swallowed. "Okay. Maybe it's just old wiring. Let's check it out." No one wanted to, but they went anyway. Operating room 3. The hallway narrowed as they descended a flight of stairs to the lower level. The air grew colder. Ria's breath fogged the lens of Kabir's camera. "We shouldn't," she stopped. The corridor lights, dead for decades, flickered to life one by one, leading straight to operating room 3. "It's inviting us," Anaya whispered. They entered slowly. The room was a nightmare frozen in time. Surgical lights hung from the ceiling, one shattered. Blood had dried black on the tiles. On the operating table lay a charred body strapped down by leather restraints, and next to it someone had carved into the wall, "The doctor never left." Raghav's voice broke. "Kabir, tell me you got that." Kabir nodded, trembling. "Everything." Then the table moved, just slightly, but enough to make them all step back. The leather straps tightened on their own, creaking. The burned body's head turned toward them, its mouth opened, and a voice came out dry as ash. "I can cure death." The lights exploded. Darkness swallowed them whole. The descent. When the lights returned, Ria was gone. "Ria!" Raghav shouted, swinging his flashlight. The beam caught movement, a trail of wet footprints leading toward a broken elevator shaft. Kabir ran to the edge. The footprints vanished midair. Anaya began to cry. "She didn't jump. She couldn't have..." The speaker crackled again, louder now. "One more patient, admitted." Raghav grabbed Kabir's arm. "We're leaving." Now, but the corridor behind them had changed. The door they entered through was gone, replaced by a wall of scorched tiles. They turned another corner, only to find the same hallway repeating, the same signs, the same broken wheelchair, the same voice whispering, "Stay for your treatment." The truth. They stumbled into a records office, one that hadn't been there before. Inside, a film reel projector flickered on by itself. Static filled the room. Then an old video began to play. It showed a surgery room, operating room 3. A doctor in a white coat stood over a restrained patient. The doctor's badge read, "Dr. R. Mehra." He was speaking to the camera. "Greater than, they call me mad, but I've done it. I've captured the line between life and death. Soon they'll all see." He picked up a scalpel. The patient began to scream. Then fire. Chaos. The feed melted into white. Kabir turned toward Raghav. This was his experiment. He didn't want to heal them. He wanted to trap them here. The projector shut off, and in its reflection behind them stood a tall figure in a scorched white coat. His face was a blur of melted skin and glowing eyes. "New subjects," he whispered. The final tape. The last footage Kabir's camera captured was a blur. Running, screaming, doors slamming shut. Anaya's voice. "He's behind us." Raghav shouting, "Keep recording." Then static. When the camera flickered back on, Kabir stood alone in the operating room. The table was empty. The walls pulsed faintly, breathing like flesh. He aimed the camera at himself, trembling. "If someone finds this, don't come here." The doctor's still... A hand gripped his shoulder. He turned. The camera dropped. A shadow passed over the lens. Then darkness. 2 weeks later, local authorities found their van abandoned near St. Mercy Hospital. Inside were damp sleeping bags, uneaten food, and a camera still recording. The footage ended with a single frame. The hospital corridor perfectly clean, lights on, beds arranged, and 4 figures walking in doctors' coats. One of them looked straight into the lens, smiled. "Welcome to St. Mercy Hospital," he said. "We've been expecting you."